Nobody expected this. Canada, the country known for opportunity, safety, good jobs, and a better life, is now watching something surprising happen. Skilled immigrants are leaving. Not months after arriving, but sometimes within the first year. These are doctors, engineers, nurses, teachers, IT experts, people Canada needs. So why are they packing their bags and walking away? Today we break down the real reasons in simple and honest terms. 1. The dream, recess. The reality. For many immigrants, moving to Canada begins with a beautiful dream. People imagine a peaceful country where everything works. A place with friendly neighbors, clean streets, good schools, and safe neighborhoods. They picture their children growing up with better opportunities, better jobs, and a better future than they had. And honestly, Canada is a good country. It has many strengths. And for years it has welcomed people from all around the world. But here's the part nobody talks about. When newcomers finally arrive, the dream doesn't match the reality. Not right away. Very quickly, families learn that life in Canada is not simple or easy. Yes, the dream is real, but it comes with obstacles nobody warned them about. You discover that everything takes time, a lot of time. Getting a doctor, weeks or months of waiting. Putting your child in school, forms, documents, long processes. Finding a job that matches your skills? More complicated than it looks. And then there is the cost of living. Higher than many expected. Groceries, rent, gas, childcare, everything adds up fast. For many families, this is a shock. The dream they carried in their hearts suddenly feels heavier. They realize they must work harder, wait longer, and adjust to a system that moves slowly and demands patience. And that is when many immigrants start asking themselves a painful question. Is the dream worth the struggle? 2. The cost of living shock. One of the biggest reasons skilled immigrants are leaving Canada is simple. Life has become too expensive. People know Canada isn't cheap, but they don't realize how expensive it is until they actually live there. Everything costs more than newcomers expect. Rent? Very high, especially in cities like Toronto and Vancouver. A small apartment can cost as much as a whole house in other countries. Groceries prices keep going up. Families are spending more but getting less food in their carts. Childcare? For many parents, daycare costs almost as much as their rent. Even basic things, like phone plans, gas, and winter clothes, can take a big part of a family's income. And the surprising part? Many skilled immigrants have good jobs and they still struggle. Engineers, nurses, IT workers. Even they say that after paying bills, there is almost nothing left to save. People start feeling squeezed. They work long hours, but the money doesn't stretch far enough. It becomes hard to plan for the future or build the life they dreamed of. Instead of moving forward, many feel like they are just trying to survive. And this leads to a tough question for a lot of families. Why stay in a country where we work so hard, but still can't afford a comfortable life? Part 3. The education and healthcare struggle. Canada is famous for having good schools and free healthcare. These are two big reasons many skilled immigrants choose to move there. But when they arrive, they discover something surprising. Good does not always mean easy. Let's start with education. Many parents expect their children to enter strong schools quickly, but instead they face long waiting lists, crowded classrooms, not enough teachers, slow communication from schools. Some families wait months just to register their kids. Others must send their children to schools far away because the nearby ones are full. Parents begin to wonder, if Canada needs more workers, why doesn't it have enough teachers? And then there is healthcare, and the biggest shock of all. Yes, the system is free. Yes, Canadians are proud of it. But free does not mean fast. Newcomers often wait. Hours in emergency rooms, months to see a specialist, a long time for basic tests or treatment. Some people even fly back to their home country because they can get medical care faster there. It becomes frustrating. When your child is sick or when you are in pain, waiting months doesn't feel safe, even if it's free. Many immigrants ask themselves, How can a rich, developed country have so many delays? And this is exactly what Daniel Bernhard talked about, the CEO of the Institute for Canadian Citizenship. He said that education and healthcare are not keeping up with the number of newcomers. The demand is growing fast, but the system is not growing with it. This puts pressure on families. Instead of feeling supported, they feel stuck, unable to get help when they need it most. First, cost of living is breaking people. This part surprises almost every newcomer, even skilled workers with good jobs. Canada is much more expensive than they imagined. Yes, everyone knows the cost of living is high, but no one truly understands it until they live in Canada themselves. Let's start with housing, the biggest challenge. Rent in major cities like Toronto and Vancouver is so high that some people joke it's like paying for two homes, one you live in and one you can't see. A small apartment can take 50% to 70% of a family's income. Imagine working full-time and still struggling to afford a basic place to sleep. Then there are groceries. Prices go up every few weeks. A simple bag of fruits, vegetables, and bread can cost as much as a nice meal in other countries. Families start making strict lists, buying only what they need, no extras, no treats. Transportation, childcare, insurance, phone bills, winter clothes. Everything adds up faster than newcomers expect. And let's not forget taxes. Canada has high taxes which pay for public services, but they also reduce how much money people take home each month. Because of all this, many immigrants end up working more hours than they planned. Some work 2 or even 3 jobs, waking up early and coming home late just to cover the basics. They are not lazy, they are not unskilled. They are doing everything right, but still feel stuck. One immigrant said something many people now repeat: "I'm earning money, but I'm not living. I'm only surviving." And that's the painful truth. For many skilled workers, the cost of living becomes the moment they decide to leave. Not because they don't love Canada, but because they want a life where hard work actually leads to progress, savings, and stability. They want to live, not just pay bills. 5. Feeling trapped. For many skilled immigrants, the hardest part of living in Canada is not the cold or the high prices. It's the feeling of being stuck, even though they know they have talent, experience, and big dreams. Back in their home countries, many had strong careers, leadership roles, years of professional experience, respected positions in their industries. They were engineers, managers, nurses, accountants, teachers, people with real skills and real accomplishments. But when they arrive in Canada, everything changes. Suddenly, those years of work don't count the same way. They're asked to start over, to take more exams, to pay for upgrading courses, or to redo training they already have. They hear the same message again and again: be patient. Your time will come. You need Canadian experience. At first, immigrants try to stay positive. They accept lower-level jobs. They work outside their field. They volunteer to gain experience. They wait because they believe things will get better. But after months or even years, many start to feel something they never expected. They feel invisible. They know they're capable of more. They want to contribute. They want to use the skills they spent their whole lives building. They want to feel proud of their work again. Instead, they find themselves in jobs far below their qualifications, jobs that barely cover the bills, jobs that don't match their identity. Little by little, this creates a deep frustration, not because they hate Canada, but because they feel like they're losing time, potential, and confidence. And that's when a new idea begins to enter their minds. Maybe I could move again into a place that values my skills immediately. Many start looking at other countries: the United States, where companies hire quickly; Australia, where credentials are easier to transfer; the Middle East, where skilled workers are paid well; the UK, where some professions have faster pathways. These places offer something simple but powerful: a chance to use their skills right now, not years later. And for many immigrants, that opportunity is the deciding factor. They don't leave Canada because they failed. They leave because they want to grow, and they want a country that lets them. 6. Families feel the pressure. When parents struggle in Canada, it's not just their problem. The whole family feels the weight of it. Newcomers carry stress silently. They don't want to scare their children. They don't want to disappoint their relatives back home. But deep inside, they feel torn between hope and worry. Every day comes with new questions. Are my children getting the future I promised them? How can I support my aging parents from so far away? Are we earning enough to survive next month? What about our health, our mental stress? And even though Canada is peaceful, The emotional pressure can be very heavy. Parents often work long hours. Some work night shifts. Some take multiple jobs. Some barely see their children during the week. Kids notice it, even if they don't say anything. They see the tired faces. They hear the late-night conversations about money. They feel the tension when bills keep rising. Family life changes. Meals become rushed. Weekends become time for second jobs. Vacations become something people only talk about, not something they do. Some parents begin to feel guilty. Guilty because they left everything behind for a better life. But now the stress is hurting the people they love the most. They wonder, did we make the right choice? Are we really giving our children a better life? This emotional weight is one of the biggest reasons many families start thinking about leaving. Not because they don't love Canada. Not because they don't appreciate the safety or the opportunities. Two experts are sounding the alarm. Daniel Bernhard, along with many other scholars, economists, and immigration experts, is warning Canada loudly, the country is at risk.
They all say the same thing. Canada needs skilled immigrants.
Not as an option, not as a bonus, but as a foundation of the country's future. Immigrants keep hospitals running. They support the tech industry. They help build cities. They keep the economy strong and growing. But experts also say something else. Immigrants cannot succeed if the system keeps failing them. The message is simple. If credentials remain blocked, if healthcare stays overloaded, if housing stays too expensive, if wages do not match real living costs, if newcomers feel ignored or underused, then Canada will lose the very people it invited. And when skilled immigrants leave, the entire country feels it. Fewer workers in hospitals, fewer engineers building the future, fewer teachers, nurses, and specialists, slower growth, weaker innovation, fewer taxpayers supporting programs. Experts say this is not just an immigrant problem, this is a Canadian problem. If nothing changes, more and more newcomers will decide to leave, and Canada will struggle to replace the talent it loses. This is why the warnings are getting louder. Fix the system, or watch the dream fade. So here's the real question. Is Canada losing the very people who could help it grow? Or will the country finally improve the systems that are pushing immigrants out? Only time will tell. But one thing is clear. Something needs to change. If you want more deep dives, honest stories, and eye-opening explanations like this one, make sure you like, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next video. There's a lot more to uncover.